So, Mike, you're doing a really great job. You're one of my best friends, but you're like super busy. I mean, even during the pandemic, like I think you got like 5 jobs or something like that. You know, 7, 8 things you're working on at one time. You got 2 kids, both young. You got a beautiful wife that you're always trying to spend time with, give attention to. Frankly, Mike, how have you dealt with the stress of COVID-19 with having all of this stuff going on?
Sure. So for me, what it is that I'm working on and currently working through is taking care of myself, right? And so the idea is if you can't take care of yourself, it's much harder for you to be able to take care of other people.
Right.
So
Yeah.
one of the easy things that I do, which I learned earlier on in my career and which I coach people on, um, and train people on in my private practice, is something very simple: deep breathing exercises. Earlier on in my career, I practiced this strategy going into high stakes conversations, when you have to talk to people about performance, which is anxiety provoking for me.
Yeah.
um, I use it, and I not only use it in high stakes conversations leading into those conversations, but also supporting the folks who come and see me in my private practice. So, and it's real simple. It takes like 10 to 15 minutes, and it's diaphragmatic breathing. So it's essentially, you put your hands on your belly, you're taking in deep, deep breaths. And the reason why your hand is on your belly is because when you don't have much practice, having your hands on your belly and feeling them move out is an indicator around that you're doing it right, right? So, taking a deep breath, let it out slowly, do that about 5 to 10 times, depending on whatever it is that you're comfortable with. And the important part is noticing and starting to build your awareness around how
Oh,
your
Cyrus
body's
getting it
feeling.
over there, huh? He getting it. All right, Cyrus. He needs some breathing. Tell that boy to put his hands on his stomach.
But it's paying attention to what's going on around you, how your body's reacting to it. But the idea is to get your focus in the here and now, to then be able to exist in your frontal lobe where all the magic happens. So that's sort of one of the tips that I would recommend. The other thing I would recommend around mindfulness as well is just acknowledging that what's going on right now in the world, it's not normal. It's not normal for any of us, you know what I mean? And so some of us have the privilege and opportunity to be able to work right now. Some folks don't. But just having the awareness around that stuff is different and we're trying to manage this change, from my perspective, is step one, because sometimes we lose sight of that, and we get on this, what the heck is going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to sort of calibrate back to that. So
Well, you kind of nailed it, and it's actually an example as we're sitting here in this video right now, right? I mean, you got a family. We're making content, and Cyrus is a real life person in your house, right? One of the most important
you've
people
been
in your
here
house,
before.
right? You've been here before, right? So, I mean, that is the stress that people are going through. Is like, okay, how do I adapt to the stress of life? But guess what? It's so different. Man, my kids, I'm probably working at home with my kids. My kids are there. How do I teach them? How do I homeschool them, and still be the best provider that I can be for them? Man, I think what we're talking about right now is really like paramount to calming yourself down and being just in the moment, right? And finding ways to make sure that you stay focused, right? So
which is which
that's
is which is not an easy task, man. It's not an
no,
easy task.
no, not at all. And so yeah, I love it. I definitely learned that from you. It's like putting my hands on my belly when I'm stressed out and really getting some mindful meditation. I think that's what you talk about with a lot of your clients, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And so I think it's really important for us to make that a focus. And I think that's a great action step that folks can use to get into that state of mindful meditation. Now, with
which
that
is
being,
and just to offer again, which is really simple and it takes practice, so.
yeah, that's important. If you want to be good at anything, you got to practice, right?
Mhm.
Now, with that being said, I mean, during the pandemic, you didn't only just like say, okay, I'm gonna get the current stress out of my life, but I think you brought it up already. You were like, not only am I gonna get the current stress I'm dealing with, and I'm gonna focus on that, let me go ahead and add some more stress on my life. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and add some more. So what you did was you actually doubled down on your private practice. And so you've really invested a ton of time into that. Man, that takes a lot of bravery. That's a little scary. Talk to us a little bit about how you were able to take that step even during the pandemic.
Sure. So it's, I think, of course, consulting with you and getting coaching and sort of, and sort of just talking through things in terms of identifying things that I struggle with, identifying what my strengths are, and trying to, capitalize and put my energy out there in terms of what do I want to accomplish? You know what I mean? But again, it goes back to the simple tenets that we're talking about right now is starting your own business is anxiety provoking. So what am I doing right now to take care of myself, knowing that, I'm in this interesting space, what's going on in terms of the world, but also trying to build a business, So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I've been fortunate because there's a ton of folks out there that need help right now, and so I've been fortunate. So but I think being intentional and taking care of myself has something to do with putting my energy out there with regards to getting the results that it is that I'm getting, right? So and again, if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of other people,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I love how you started that, right? Which is really kind of the second takeaway I think for most of the folks that are out there is who is around you? Who are you surrounding yourself with to help you through this time? That I have an article that we'll be publishing in a little bit talking about champs and chumps, right? Like, are you surrounding yourself with champs? Or are you surrounding yourself with trumps? Are you surrounding yourself with people who are going to make you better? Who are there to give you insight, who are there to push you, who are not there to just give you lip service, but people who actually care about your growth and are actually going to dig in and say, I'm gonna put some time aside, sit with you, and maybe I'm gonna ask you some questions that are a little difficult, but I want to push you to the best version of yourself. So that's really important. And then you double down on the second point or the first point that you made about really mindful meditation and taking care of yourself and making sure that you're healthy mentally as well as physically, right? So I think that that's really really important.
and
And
and, and, and just to add one more thing, Travis, is it's the one technique that I talked about in terms of grounding yourself. Another really simple one is around identifying things that do that for you. So for me, it's my wife, right? It's you know seeing her, how she's working through things with our children, how she deals with me, like that in itself helps ground me in regards to what's important and sort of gets me centered, so um, I don't know. I just felt compelled to share that as well. So.
yeah, and I think that's really good. I mean, we both have really strong partners that support us. I mean, look, man, if it was up to me, it'd be a brown wall behind me right now. You know what I'm saying? But my wife was like, she was like, man, what's like,
Hold
what,
up.
right, what are some important things to you? Like, what's important in your life? And as you look behind me, it's like these are the things that led to success. And so not only is she a positive force in my household by helping me out and frankly being the most important person in our house, really taking care of our kids and make sure our house is okay, but
Yep.
she's also saying, hey, I believe in your dreams. I want to help you out in any way I can. I want you to have a positive mindset in everything that you do. If this is your home office now, you're stuck here. How do we make it so that you walk into it and you're inspired and you're ready to do your best work? And that is what a good partner will do. That's what they will do for you. So, really, really important. But we're running out of time. We're hitting that 10-minute mark. We're coming right on top of it. So, we want to make sure. I know you guys are like, what's the third point? Hey, you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to click on the next episode to find out. But this is part one of Pandemic Prospering: How to Find Success During COVID-19 or in spite of COVID-19. We hope that we gave you a couple takeaways from today's show that really, really, really you can go and use. You know, mindful meditation, putting your hands on your stomach and watching the air come in and out of your chest, feeling it, I should say.
Breathing.
And then, you know, who do you surround yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with the right people to help you reach your dreams? Please like and subscribe. All of our social media is in our description, as well as our LinkedIn profiles if you guys want to learn a little bit more about who we are and what we've accomplished. We'll talk to you soon. See you next time.
Check us out.